Hello, welcome to my first video. I'm so nervous, so nervous, but also very excited. Anyway, this is my seventh time trying to record this. Actually, I think it's the eighth because I just keep restarting because I'm nervous and I keep messing up. Hopefully, this is the last time though, because I actually do have things to do tonight, so I need to hurry up and get this done. Anyway, this is my May 2023 reading wrap up. I read 14 books, although one of them is a short story, so more like 13.2. Anyway, let's just start because I need to hurry up. So the first book I read was Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is a very popular book. I'd be surprised if you didn't hear of this before me, but this is about a rock band that I think was in the 1970s, and it's like telling their story. So it's told in interview style, which I loved. That I thought it was really cool the way it was written. Um, But I will say, I'm kind of scared to say this, but it wasn't my favorite. I gave it 4 stars. I expected this to be a 5 because of all the hype, but it was just not hitting. Like, I think it was mostly because, like, the characters were just too frustrating to read about at times. Like, I had to put the book down on multiple occasions because sometimes something Billy would do would just, it was just too much. Like, I like flawed characters, but sometimes they were just too much, and I needed them to just do something right. Sorry, that's kind of mean, but like they were just like I like reading about lovable characters. And Billy was just like he was likable. I think he wasn't irredeemable, but some of the things he would do, I just had to put the book down because it was just oh. Same with Daisy. Like literally everyone in this book annoyed me besides like Camila and Warren didn't really annoy me. Um so yeah, there was that. But I did like the writing style. I love Camila. I liked Warren. He was funny and blunt. And I did like Billy and Daisy and Karen and Graham, even though they annoyed me. I love Pete. He's so precious. Um, and I like the way that she displayed addiction. Like I thought it was really realistic. And like she showed how difficult it is to quit and how hard it is to stay sober, which I just think she did a good job displaying it. And she also showed like how it can make people selfish sometimes. Like yeah, I'm kind of rambling, but like I just like the way she showed it. Anyway, um, one other thing. I love that she wrote the songs that she described in the book and she included them at the end. I thought that was so cool. And I didn't know she did that. When I got to the end, I was like pleasantly surprised because I just thought that was so cool. And I like the epilogue seeing where everyone ended up and stuff. So yeah. And then the next book I read or listened to was Falling for Declan by Tracy Lorraine. I did not like this at all. This was a 1 star read. Definitely my least favorite of the month. This is about this girl who comes, but I think she goes back to her hometown. I don't know. I read this at the like early in the month, and I think she ends up working for him, and he like used to tease her when, or not tease her, more like bully her. I think. Honestly, I don't remember that much from this. Besides, like the things I didn't like about it, but yeah. So they don't get along because he used to make fun of her quite a bit. Anyway, I did not like this at all. It was mostly the hero. He was very gross. Like he hated women, and as a woman, I don't want to read about a guy who hates women. Like that's gross. Like at one point, I pulled out a quote so I could share it, and I don't have it. Where did it go? He said, "I don't like girls. I find them attractive. I screw them, and I move on." Like he would constantly say stuff like that, like just like hating women things. Um, which yeah, like the way even he talks about the women he sleeps with in such a disgusting way. Like there was a girl, I forgot her name. He was sleeping with her in the beginning and he referred to her as the B word, bitch, and he was saying like he doesn't care about her, he doesn't care about her problems. He called her easy as if he isn't sleeping around himself. Like it was just gross and hypocritical. So I didn't like him. And the heroine, she was just kind of, is it heroine or heroine? I don't know. I've never known how to pronounce that. I just know how to spell it. But anyway, she wasn't that great either. She was just kind of there. I didn't dislike her, but she didn't save the story for me, and I didn't care for the plot. This was just not it. I gave it 2 stars actually originally, and then 5 minutes later I changed it because I was like, "What am I doing? I didn't like anything about this," and then it went down to 1 star. I legitimately could not name one thing I liked about this. On to the next. Then I read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I loved so much. I love this book. It was so good. I liked it a lot more than Daisy Jones and the Six. Like I loved Evelyn. Like I love reading about manipulative and cunning women going after what they want. it was just so awesome to see how she got to the top, and I loved unraveling her story. So okay, this book is about a woman named Evelyn Hugo, and she's a movie star, a famous movie star, and I think she's like an elderly now, and she hits up this reporter named Monique, and she's like, I want you to tell my story. And then it's told in past and present perspectives, and we get to see how Evelyn, like her life. We get to, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous and I don't know what I'm saying. We get to see her life. So her life is a past perspective, obviously, and then Monique's is present. I love this. I loved Evelyn. I loved Evelyn and Celia. I loved Evelyn and Harry's friendship. I loved slowly unraveling her story. I thought it was so interesting. Like, she has such an interesting story. Like, I was obsessed. And I loved how she handled the abuse storyline. I thought it was really well written, like how she showed how abused children often wind up back in abusive situations and how the cycle works. I just thought she did a really, really good job of displaying it. Um, and then, oh, there's also a lot of diversity, which is also good. Um, the thing I didn't like though, I feel like the big reveal at the end was just very rushed. I wish she took the time to like delve more into Monique's feelings on the matter, like, because it was just put there. Like, it was just, oh, this what happened, and then we just kind of moved on really fast, and it was just weird. And then I also feel like Monique's character was kind of underdeveloped and underutilized. Like, compared to Evelyn, she was just so bland. Like, she just paled in comparison. Like, Evelyn had such a wonderful and interesting story, and she had this big personality, and then Monique was just kind of there. Like, honestly, half the time I feel like she didn't even need to be there. Like, I feel like she was more utilized. But I loved everything else, and I'm not taking away Star for those because I love this book so much. I literally love this so much. Okay, next. Then I listened. No, I read. I read this one. I read The Summer Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. Um, I really hope I don't come off as pretentious when I say this, but this is just a bit too juvenile for me. That definitely sounded pretentious, didn't it? Sorry. Like, it was a cute story, but I was obviously not the target audience for this. I would have appreciated it more in middle school. Anyway, it's about this girl who, in the summer, she goes to this beach house with her mom, her brother, her mom's best friend, and her mom's best friend's sons, Jeremiah and Conrad, and they're both kind of love the love interest. She has this big crush on Conrad, and Jeremiah's more her friend, but yeah, there's a love triangle there. I just didn't love it. Like I said, it was just too immature, I guess. I I don't know. Oh, one thing I didn't like about this, like, Belly had a whole rant about the importance of gaining consent, which is good. And then, like, 2 seconds later, Jeremiah kissed her out of nowhere. I didn't like that. And she tried to push him off, and he didn't immediately let go. Yeah, I think we can all figure out why that's not good. I don't even need to speak on that more. My favorite part of this book though was Conrad, or not Conrad, Cam. Cam. I'm obsessed with Cam. He's literally so cute and so precious and just adorable and dorky, and oh my gosh, he's such a stand-up dude. So kind, so cute. He sent her a note in a bottle, guys. He's literally so precious. I love him so much. I loved him in the show, and I loved him even more in the book. He's literally so cute. And I like Susanna and Laurel's friendship. Also, I thought it was so wholesome. Definitely better than Belly and Taylor's friendship, which is just filled with jealousy and competition and stuff. Susanna and Laurel, though, they were so wholesome. Had like unconditional love and support for each other, which we love to see. We love to see women supporting women, and I love the cover. And it was a quick and easy read, which I like because I didn't, like I said, I didn't really like this. So if it would have been like super long, I probably would have DNF'd because it just wasn't for me. Then I read Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. This was a 4-star read. I really liked it, but sometimes it was just too much. Like, oh, did I even describe this book? No. Okay, so this girl named Naomi, she goes into this small town because she's looking for her sister who said she needed help. Anyway, she gets there. Turns out her sister lied to her. Anyway, she meets this guy. What's his name? Knox. Knox sees her and he mistakes her for her twin sister who's like evil. And he starts yelling at her, and that's where the enemies part starts. And there's also this kid, Tina's kid. Tina's the sister. I don't know if I said that, but yeah. And then Naomi has to take care of her kid. Well, she doesn't have to. She chooses to because she's like, where's this kid going to end up since Tina left? And they're like, foster care. And Naomi's like, no, I can take care of her. So yeah, I described that badly, I think. But Just read the blurb online. Anyway, the thing I didn't like about this, it was like very over the top sometimes, and like the dialogue was a bit too much for me. Like it just like I could not picture anyone saying some of the things that they said, and there was too much telling as opposed to showing. Like especially about Naomi, like I feel like literally every character in this book had some sort of dialogue about like what kind of person Naomi is. Like her dad, her mom, Knox, Steph, her caseworker, like literally everyone in town was like Naomi's like this and like this and like we literally get Naomi's perspective. Like we can figure out what kind of person she is on our own. We don't need every single person telling us what kind of person she is. Like I feel like it was a bit redundant and unnecessary. Yeah. So those are the things I disliked. There's some more, but we'll just gloss over those because it wasn't like anything important. Just nitpicky things. I love Naomi. She's very witty and sarcastic and family oriented and just a social butterfly, very sunshine-esque. And then her love interest is Grumpy. We love that. He's like super grouchy and rude, but he has a heart of gold and he's very protective and attentive, and we love that. Anyway, the banter was super entertaining. I love Waylay, who she's the child. She's very clever and resilient and hilarious. Like I literally loved her so much. She was so cute. And I love the family moments they all had together. It was just adorable. And I love Knox's jealousy. My favorite chapter was the scene at, or the chapter at the hospital. That was so good. Like it was their first hug. They were holding hands for support. He kissed her on the forehead, like literally so much. So much. So much happened. And it was so perfect and so beautiful. And I loved it. And I love the epilogue. It was adorable. Last thing, I love Lucian and Sloane. I can't wait for the book. I already put it on hold at the library, so I'm gonna get it like as soon as it comes out. And I'm so excited because they are gonna start Second Chance Enemies to Lovers. And then the next book I read, Things We Hide from the Light, I actually ended up liking this more than Things We Never Got Over, which I wasn't expecting because everyone always talks about the other one. Like I haven't heard that many people talk about this, but I loved it so much. I gave it 5 stars. Anyway, it's about this guy, what's his name? Nash. He gets shot and he's like struggling with that. He has depression and anxiety, and Angelina, she moves in next to him, and he is like, she's actually making me feel things, and I haven't felt things in so long, and so she kind of helps him heal a little bit, and yeah, romance happens. It was literally so cute. The only thing I didn't like was that Nash could be a little too overprotective at times, like because her job is a little dangerous, and sometimes he would like threaten to ruin it. Like he'd be like, "I'll blow your cover," because she does undercover stuff, and like I didn't like that because she's a capable woman and she's been doing this for years without you. She doesn't need you like doing all this, you know. Like sometimes he just came off like he didn't think she was capable on her own, which I didn't like. But I love him overall. Like he's very protective and broody and sweet, and I love that. And I love Angelina so much. She's so like confident and flirty and independent, and she was just like a breath of fresh air. I really liked her. And I like the depression and anxiety representation. And oh, we got a lot of like Waylay, Knox, Naomi bits, which I love seeing them all happy. And I love the bromance between Lucian, Nash, and Knox, and also the galmance. Is that what you call a girl friendship? I don't know. Between Sloane, Lena, and Naomi is just so cute. I love friendship. I love friendship. And oh, I love the dog they rescued. I think they named her Piper. The cute scenes I had with her were literally everything. It was just like a family, like a little family. Like Knox and Naomi had Waylay and they had Piper. It was just, I love it. I wonder what Lucy and Sloan will have. um, yeah, I think. Oh, one more thing. One more thing that I loved about this. Actually, two things. Okay, I love how Nash is always like dancing with her. I just love dancing. He would like dance with her in the rain and stuff, and I just thought it was so cute. And they also went skydiving together. I love that scene. I thought it was so fun. And just happy, like wholesome, happy things. I love this, if you can't tell. I love the cover also. It's so pink and beautiful. Next, I listened to You're a Mean One, Matthew Prince by Timothy Janowski. I like this. I gave it 5 stars. I love the cover. It's a Christmas book. I don't know why I read this in the middle of May, but anyway. Um, it's about this guy named Matthew Prince. He buys an island. He's like super rich. His family's super rich, and he's a bit spoiled. And he ends up buying an island. And his parents are like, "You're too much. We're gonna send you to a small town to like I don't know, to make you realize how the other half lives or something. I don't know. Anyway, he's rooming with this guy named, I think his name was Herman. I don't remember, honestly. Herman Harold. It started with an H. Anyway, Herman doesn't like him because he's like, you're a spoiled brat. Anyway, ooh. But then romance happens. I thought this was super cute, super wholesome, pretty fluffy. The only thing I didn't like, but it was like super nitpicky, so I'm not gonna take it off a star. But Herman was always calling him dude. Like that was literally his nickname for him, and it was just that's just not a cute nickname. I don't know. So that's it. But I liked everything else. Then I read Milo by E.L. Lewis. This was a mafia romance. It's about I honestly forgot the girl. Oh, Kiara. Her name was Kiara. It's about she like worked at a bank and then he went in there, shot two dudes, and then he kidnapped her because she's a witness. um, but then he decides not to kill her because she knows a bunch of languages, and he's like, I can use that. So yeah, pretty unrealistic, but it's okay because it's fiction. The only thing I didn't like about this is that it was way too long. Like I feel like a lot could have been cut out, which is why I gave 4 stars as opposed to 5. But I did like it. I like the banter. I like Kiara. I like Milo. They were like sparring together at one point. I love that scene. It was very hot. Um, and I love the side characters. I loved his sister. What else did I like? Oh, the crossword puzzle scene. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, I don't have much to say about this. Honestly, it was good, but I've read a lot of mafia romances, so I feel like it wasn't special, honestly, compared to everything else. Then I read Allegiant by Veronica Roth. Biggest 5 star. I'm obsessed with Divergent. I'm obsessed with it. I love this book so much. I honestly have. Actually, there was one bad thing to say, but I can't even say it without spoiling, so we're just gonna ignore it. I love this so much. It's on dual point of views, which I love. I love that we got Tobias's and Triss's point of view. I love Tobias and Triss as a couple. I love Triss. I love Tobias as individuals. I love that the chapters are like relatively short because it's easier to get through. I like the writing; it's so easy to digest. I like there were so many twists, and I was so into it. And the ending, it literally had me sobbing like a baby. I don't think I've ever cried so hard while reading a book. Guys, I could not stop. I literally had to go into the bathroom to start sobbing because I didn't want someone to come and see me crying and be like, what's wrong? So I literally went to the bathroom and just sobbed as I read because I was like, oh. Anyway, I love this. Next, Ruthless Rival by LJ Shen. This was also a 5 star. Not as good as Legend, but it was good. I like it's told in past and present perspectives because the two main characters, they were like friends, childhood best friends, but then something happens and they get mad at each other. So in the present perspective, they're enemies. But she doesn't know who he is because apparently he looks really different. So and he also changed his name. Anyway, they're like, okay, he's a lawyer and he's against her father who's been accused of sexual harassment and she's on her dad's side. Yeah, so that's kind of an iffy storyline. Some people might not like it, but I don't know. I feel like it wasn't horribly written. I love the friendship aspect. Like when they were 14 and friends, like those scenes were so cute and so wholesome. I love those. I like Christian. I like Arya. They're both witty, and I love the banter. Like LJ Shan writes such good, clever banter. I love it. And I like the friendship Christian has with Riggs and Arson, which I think their books are next. What else did I like? Oh, I love that even when he hated, but not really, he was like looking out for her and he was like, I just love that. It was so cute. Oh, and there was like a big book presence in this book, which I love. Like the first 2 kisses were against bookshelves and they were recreating a scene from Atonement and they had sex in a library and she met up with her mother in a bookstore. Like just stuff like that. Like I just love how books were incorporated into the book because it just made me happy. I love hearing about books. Next. Then I read Makeup Breakup by Lily Menon. I did not love this. This put me into a slump. Like, it was a 3 star read. It was just really boring and repetitive and just not it. Had high hopes, but yeah. It's about these rival tech developer or app developers. They're like in a competition. Whoever wins gets money for their startup. Anyway, that's the gist. It was just boring and repetitive, and she was just very judgy. The main character, her name was Annika. She was very judgy of him. Like sometimes it was just unnecessary. Like multiple times he genuinely compliment her and she'd take it the wrong way and think of it as an insult and just like say all this stuff about him even though he like meant it a completely different way. And that happened multiple times. Like if it happened one time, it's like, okay, she just didn't understand what he was trying to say. You know, it happened. But it happened multiple times. And I was like, oh my gosh, annoying. And then she also judged him for not pursuing his passion of sculpting because he didn't pursue it because it doesn't like get a bunch of money and he needs money obviously, and she was like judging him for that because she was like he doesn't follow his heart, and she was like, girl, we're in the real world, you know. Well, not really, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, he not everyone can just do what they want to do. Like, some people do need legit jobs, you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I just didn't like that she was judging about that. Overall, I did like her though. I did like Hansen, but yeah, I this was not my favorite. And then I listened to It's Not Summer Without You by Jenny Han. I honestly would have quit the series, but my cousin is obsessed with it and she like begged me to finish it. So I decided to finish it. But I'm just gonna listen to it instead of reading it because I don't want to read it, honestly. um it was a 3 star. I disliked this more so than the first book because the characters were so dramatic and back and forth and I just could not deal. Honestly. Like Belly, I don't know, like it was just too much. What was it? Like, oh my gosh, I can't say much without spoiling, but write it in my review on Goodreads if you guys are interested. Anyway, next, The Worst Best Man by Mia Sosa. I love this. Like, Make a Breakup almost put me in a slump. This took me out of it. I love this so much. I thought it was so cute. It just so wholesome. Like, uh, like I love Lena. I love Max. I didn't even describe the book. I keep forgetting to them. But this, okay, she gets left at the altar by his brother, and he breaks the news to her, and she finds out that he is the reason her fiance left her, and so she kind of dislikes him. But then they have to work together 3 years later, I think, for this project. Anyway, then they start to grow on each other. They get to know each other. They're like teaming up. Oh, and they're teaming up against his brother also, which is fun because he left her at the altar, so a little bit of revenge. although although they were a little too professional. Like, they didn't even really want revenge, but I did. It was satisfying to me that they were working against him. Anyway, I love Lena. She's very professional, like tries to hide her emotions, and that was very relatable to me. She's very level-headed, reserved, no nonsense. And I love Max. He's just such a genuinely good guy. Like, stand-up guy, apologizes when he messes up, nice, considerate, like everything good in the world. And I loved how the author incorporated Brazilian culture in this. Like, I thought it was really interesting. Like, she was constantly throwing in facts about the food and the language and Brazilian martial arts and just stuff like that. Like, I just thought it was fun to learn about that. And I loved the friendships in this book. I thought they were so cute. And the couples retreat. There was fake dating. Guys. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. The couples retreat scenes were probably my favorite. They were so cute and so like playful and fun and just so wholesome. So I like that. And I love the side characters. Another thing, I like how they discuss what they like and dislike during sex instead of just jumping right into it. Because I feel like a lot of romantic books just do that. They're just like have sex and like the hero immediately knows what the heroine wants, but even though they never discussed it. And I just feel like that's always been unrealistic, and I never liked that. But this book, they actually talked about it, which I loved. I loved to talk about it. I honestly have nothing negative to say about this book. I loved it. This one, this actually wasn't the last book I read of the month. I just forgot to throw it in here until the very end, so it just winded up here. Anyway, I read the Roma and Juliet Christmas Special by Chloe Gong. This is just a short story from These Violent Delights duology. I love this. It was literally so cute. We got to see them play marbles together, and they were teasing, and it was just so cute. I loved it. I loved it. I don't know how much I can say without spoil. Like, it's only 44 pages, so is it even a spoiler? Like, you find out right away. Ugh, kind of, I guess. There was hugs of comfort, guys. And oh my gosh, I can't even say anything because I feel like it would be a spoiler, and I feel like you should just get to experience it. So I won't say anything more. Just read it. Just read it. Honestly, if you read the duology, please read this. It's literally so cute. Anyway, I gave it 5 stars. Anyway, that's all for today. See you on the next reading wrap up. I will tell you guys, I'm gonna read The Hunger Games. Like after reading Divergent, I've decided I love dystopian books now. Like I never liked the genre before, but just Divergent was just so freaking good that I've decided I'm gonna start. So I'm reading The Hunger Games for the first time, and you guys can look forward to that. Anyway, that's all. Bye bye.